Hey guys, I'm here to talk about my little Pico Reef, which I call the furnace. So it's about 3 years old. Had him for a little while. I used to have a sand bed, but since removed it, it was more trouble than it's worth. So tank was, like I said, 3 years ago when I first set it up. After it cycled and everything, first inhabitant was that little fire shrimp right there. I love this guy. And that frog spawn coral. After a little while, I did introduce 2 more hermit crabs, the little blue leg ones. I'm sure they're around here somewhere, those guys, in the rocks. Also an emerald crab and a Mexican turbo snail. And then the hammer, and little jack-o'-lantern down there, the gorgonian in the back, green star polyps, the pagoda. Once I felt a little more comfortable and saw that everything was doing pretty well, I introduced the bird's nest and that acropora right there. So far they all seem pretty good. Decent growth. I've had to frag them a few times. That frog spawn especially had, real estate's pretty limited here, and he had grown like 6 or 7 heads. That bird's nest as well, you can see. I had to cut him up a little bit because he was growing into the pagoda. You can guess who won that fight. Overall, growth is pretty good. Coloration leaves a little bit something to be desired, but I am working on that as we speak. So, a little tour of the system. So it is a 2.6 gallon Fluval Spec, and it has a little overflow system here with 2 tiny chambers in the back. First chamber is I have an InTank media basket in there with 3 tiers. I have some biomedia in the bottom tier, which I figured would be a good place for pods and whatnot to congregate. In the next 2 tiers, sometimes I'll put carbon and a little bit of filter floss. This chamber right here is the heater, which is just a preset Amazon heater. It does the job just fine. And there's a innovative marine DC pump in there also. DC pump, which I control through that, and an RFG nozzle. That's plenty of flow for the whole tank. I don't have any power heads or anything like that. Then there's the light. This is a Kessil A80. Holy crap, these things are powerful. Like, it's only 15 watts, but I'm getting like 150 par down at the bottom, well over 300 on top of the rock. It's kind of crazy how strong it is. Well, for, this thing, I mean, look at that. So down at the bottom, I've got 2 Kamoer X1 Pro dosing pumps. The first one just puts a alpha reef in there. The other one is for RO water, which I keep back there. I don't have a traditional auto top off. Just couldn't find one small enough that will work well for this tiny little system. I do have to adjust the amount of water that goes in there, but it's fine. About 220 to 240 milliliters, depending on the season. So why do I call it the furnace? Well, because it burns through nutrients like you wouldn't believe. So, as far as calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, things like that, I'm dosing 3 milliliters of alpha reef per day. That's what it takes to keep it steady at 420 to 430 calcium and 8 to 9 DKH. It's more than 1 milliliter per gallon, which is kind of wild. Then there's the nitrogen and phosphorus problem. It burns through them very quickly. Like, for the longest time, both of them were completely bottomed out at 0, and nothing I did fixed it. Like, I'd feed, massively overfeed per day. I'm talking like this guy right here, this thing. Fill it up to the brim with Phytofeast, Reefroids, and almost a quarter of a block of that frozen mysis. That didn't do anything. Didn't put a dent in the number. It just made things really messy. Detritus everywhere. Then I got a little fish, against my best wishes. Still did nothing. The fish, unfortunately, no longer with us. And I started dosing Neophos and Nitro, 10 drops per day, and 24 hours later, guess what? We're back to 0. Like, it's just nuts. Now, the latest thing I've tried is the one that seems to be working, and it is absolutely juicing that auto top off water back there with a whole bunch of neophos and neo-nitro. I've got, should be about 50 ppm of nitrate and 1 ppm of phosphate in there. And yeah, with the evaporation, putting that juiced water in here, seems to be working pretty well. I am seeing some detectable levels, but I'm still working on adjusting it, having to put more of one or the other. So right now, nitrates are showing up, but phosphate bottoms out. So, you know, I'm experimenting with putting a little more phosphates in there and kind of a back and forth till I find the balance. All in all, seems to be working pretty well. I am seeing better coloration and polyp extension from the corals. I'm kind of hoping this guy comes back. I mean, he doesn't look terrible. He is growing, I'll give him that, but you know, coloration does leave a little something to be desired. Same with that Acropora. This guy is just going crazy in here. So, yeah, there it is. 2.6 gallon desktop reef. Very happy with it. Also, one more thing, just to go over my test setup here. These are my test kits, the ones that I use. So, nitrate and phosphate. Well, these days I'm doing it daily and just trying to see how much juice I need to add to the RO water to keep things steady. The alkalinity and calcium, maybe once a week or every other week. I feel that one is dialed in pretty good, so yep, there it is.